God bless you all for being here. Let me say first and foremost, I am bilingual. I speak Southern and I speak English. So I will translate my Southern into English. But I want each and every person that is here, that has ever served as a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, or Coast Guardsman to raise their hand. Thank you for your service. And the thing that each and every one of us share is that we once took an oath. That oath said that we stated our full name, Allen West, solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely without any purpose of evasion or mental reservation, so help me God. If you have ever taken that oath in uniform, that oath stays with you forever. It's the oath that my dad took when he was a soldier. He went to fight for this country in World War II. It's the oath that my father-in-law took when he went off to fight for this country in Vietnam. My dad is buried in Marietta National Cemetery. My father-in-law is buried in Arlington National Cemetery. It's the oath that my older brother took, a Marine. He served in Vietnam. It's the oath that I took for 22 years. It's the oath that my nephew, who is still serving, took. I never would have thought that all of the deployments that I did to go and fight for liberty and freedom for people in other countries, we would have to fight for the exact same thing right here in the United States of America. When you think about what is happening in America, elected officials do not have the enumerated power to declare who or what is essential in America. Elected officials do not have the enumerated power to tell you that you must stay locked up in your house. That's called an illegal martial law. That's called house arrest. I never would have thought that in those 2.5 years in Afghanistan, where I was working so that women could go out and earn a living, so that little girls could go out and go to school, that I would see a day in the United States of America where women would be thrown into jail for opening up their business. Where little girls in the United States of America, in Laredo, Texas, in the great state of Texas, will be pulled out of their beds by law enforcement officers. You know, in 1985, I had the opportunity to see the difference between liberty and tyranny. I put on a dress green uniform, put on spit shine jump boots, paratrooper beret. I went through a thing called Checkpoint Charlie. A lot of people don't remember Checkpoint Charlie. But that was when you went from West Berlin over to East Berlin. And in East Berlin, I saw what socialism, what communism was all about, just as you articulated. I saw what it meant to see that depression, that despondency, that despair on the people's faces. While we were walking around in East Berlin, we were being followed by the East German police, known as the Stasi. I would have never thought that in Laredo, Texas, in the state of Texas, you know, some of us, when we showed up here a little earlier, there was a police officer taking our picture. In the United States of America. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This is not about your political affiliation. This is about whether or not you believe in your liberty, your freedom, and your rights. This is about honoring what our forefathers and mothers gave to us in this incredible blessing that we call the United States of America. And when you look at the number that is here, it should be 100 times more that number. Last night I was meeting with Anna, and I was sitting down. I had to look at the watch because I said, oh, it's 10 o'clock almost. We got to get back in before we get arrested for a curfew. No one has the power to put a curfew on American people or Texas. No one has the power to say you must wear something or else you're going to get fined. No one has the power that these elected officials have taken to say that we're the ones that determine your buy and your leave. We're not peasants. We're not serfs. They're not feudal lords. We're American citizens. We're Texans, and we should be standing up for all that is right. I see Father back there. Father, our inalienable rights don't come from the people that occupy this building. That's right. Our inalienable rights come from our Creator God. They are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. John Locke wrote that it was life, liberty, and property. In other words, the ability to go and open up your business, to have your own business. No one should be deciding when a business should open and close, except the business owner. And think about it. All of this is being done because of a virus that has a 99.6% recovery rate. Think about this, folks. We're here in Laredo, Texas. The largest inland port in the United States of America, Laredo, Texas. The largest border crossing point in the United States of America is Laredo, Texas. When you talk about economic activity, it starts right here in Laredo, Texas, and goes up I-35 and goes all across the United States of America. Texas is the 10th largest economy in the world. But because of these foolish decisions of foolish men and women, 2.1 million Texans are now unemployed. You think about the curfew and the businesses that are closed down. Sadly, only 17 people have lost their lives due to COVID-19 in Webb County. But how many people have lost their businesses in Webb County? It is time that you reclaim your God-given freedoms and rights. It is time for those of us that took an oath to stand up and realize that that oath has no statute of limitation. It's time for our law enforcement officers. And my older brother, when he came back from Vietnam, he was an Atlanta police officer. So I know a little bit about law enforcement. And let me tell you something. You do not have to follow an immoral or an unethical order. You need to start manning up and cowboying up and not going after women in their homes. Because that's not the right thing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a fight that's going on in America. And Texas is on the forefront of this ideological battle. And what we do now will echo on for eternity. It was talked about earlier. The quote from Benjamin Franklin, where he said, "Those who are willing to surrender essential liberty for temporary safety will deserve neither liberty nor safety." Let me also tell you about a quote from the only foreigner that ever had a U.S. naval vessel named after him, Sir Winston Churchill. Sir Winston Churchill said, "Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision." We should not be in fear. Because when you are in fear, you will be manipulated. And people will usurp your rights, your freedoms, and liberties. It's time for us to find our courage, to make a decision for courage. Because when you live in fear, you will be a victim. When you stand on courage, you will be a victor. And I know my tattoo brothers are over there. I got a little ink over here on my forearm. And that ink says in Greek, Molon Lave. In 490 BC, when the million-man army of the Persians stood against Leonidas and those few Spartans in a gap called Thermopylae, they told Leonidas to lay down his weapons. Leonidas replied in those two words in Greek, Molon Lave. On October the 2nd of 1835, when the Mexican cavalry showed up not too far away from here in a place called Gonzales, Texas, they told the Texans to give back that cannon. The exact English translation, Molon Lave, is come take. This is your come and take it moment. Do not let our children and grandchildren down. Find your courage and be a victor. God bless you all. God bless Texas. Thank you.